Well, happy May 2022. It's episode 54, the latest tech and apps your business needs. This was recorded only a couple of days ago. Welcome to my brand new mini-series with Pascal Fintoni from the Two Geeks and a Marketing podcast. He's agreed once a month to come and share a month's worth of research and share with you today this month's top tech and apps that your business and marketing department needs. This month we focus on forward planning, comms, and repurposing, with, of course, the random selection. Please enjoy the episode, and thanks for being a fab listener. Ensure you don't miss the next episode, and support me by subscribing and telling your friends. Welcome to the Johnny Ross audio experience. I'm Johnny Ross, founder and digital marketing strategist of Fleek Marketing. Each podcast I'll be bringing you an expert to inspire you, to give you some great business growth takeaways, and to get you thinking about marketing and the bigger picture of how businesses can improve, adapt and grow. I look forward to sharing this with you on each podcast, so here we go. Hello and welcome. This podcast is actually called May 2022. We're sort of a day or so early here, but we're getting ready for May. It's a recap of all the fabulous stuff that Pascal Fintoni has been looking at in April. Pascal, how are you?
I'm very well. Can I just say I love the tune at the beginning. I was kind of bopping away, ready to go live. And hi everyone, thank you again for the invitation.
You have your own podcast. Tell us more about that.
Two Geeks and a Marketing podcast. So there's myself and Roger Edwards, the second Geeks, and we weekly publish a marketing review, what's in the news, the tech that we spoke about. We look into history of marketing. We also review film marketing campaigns, everything to get you more inspired and keen to become a better content creator.
So Pascal has very kindly agreed to share once a month the 20 top apps and tech that he's explored and found in the last month. If you're with us right now, why don't you let us know? We'd love to know if you're watching, if you're listening. Why not write something in the comments? If you've got questions, if you've got an app that you think we should be reviewing or including in the list, please do let us know. It's all about forward planning this week. Is that right, Pascal?
Yes, well, you mentioned that it's so good that we can predict the future. So we're doing a May review in April. But you and I are going to get busy with our media review with our customers, looking at their business activities, their marketing campaign, their SEO, social media, and so on. And I think I've been working a lot on not just the planning, but the communication of that plan to your teammates, colleagues, suppliers, and even board of directors.
Brilliant. And so this is, if maybe you work in marketing, maybe you're head of marketing, director of marketing, or perhaps you're just a business owner. I don't mean just, that's terrible. You as a business owner, you're more than any of the roles. You have to do everything, and so even more so. But the idea is to try and just make your life just that bit easier. And so it's about finding one of these apps, one of these pieces of tech that just makes whatever you're doing more efficient, more productive, or just enhances ultimately your marketing. So we've got five steps, five segues in this podcast today. Forward planning. We're going to start with the planning and the communication of that planning as well. So should I let you get started?
Well, thank you very much. So I'm going to share some visual only to keep me right and to time, but ultimately, even if you're listening to the audio-only version, we'll be able to describe to you what we have in mind. So as you mentioned, thank you very much, Roger and I'll be looking at this idea of not just the planning, the researching, but then how do you capture those ideas and how do you communicate it with others? Could be colleagues, could be suppliers, and could be part of your mastermind group. So the first one I'm going to mention, is called prettyfunnels.com. And this is this idea of designing and being the architect of a customer journey with multiple steps. And sometime I'm going to say say, Johnny, bullet points or post-its are not quite sufficient to communicate it. You do the planning, you put the post-its on the wall, you take a picture of the post-it on your phone, never to look at it again, and no one can contribute. So prettyfunnels.com is a drag and drop solution where you can put little cards with annotations and so on, and you can illustrate and represent visually the customer journey. It could be to sign up to a newsletter, it could be to buy a product, it could be to join you for an event or join your next webinar, Johnny. And by visualizing, you can invite contributions, you can do some planning, and this is also a easy to share visuals. So I highly recommend it, and it's done by volunteers. You can give them a bit of a tip if you want to, which I think is amazing. Talking of visualization, so let's say you've done that planning, you've got the customer journey, so your colleagues need to take action, and sometimes, once again, a list of words numbered from 1 till 20 perhaps won't be as sufficient. So I came across this wonderful company called Tango.com, very much like the dance. And what you can do is literally go through the steps yourself or what needs to be done via your computer, and your screen will be recorded. Then you can go back to the screen recording and add annotations, put hyperlinks to documentation, so on. And it makes it much more easy to follow an engaging kind of how-to guide or step-by-step guide as opposed to bullet point. It's also for you, it saves you time doing the old-fashioned way, Johnny, remember, of a screenshot, copy and paste into a Word document and then writing underneath what you're supposed to do with that. So Tango.com is a wonderful one, and they also have a great Chrome extension as well. Now, your colleague then will have to get organized, and Roger came across this wonderful little app called Todoist. And Todoist is almost the best.
I'm interrupting you. I would be lost without Todoist. I've been using it for years, and I would be absolutely lost. I wouldn't know what I am meant to be doing this afternoon. I wouldn't know what my wife wants me to buy from the supermarket. We use it, not just me, it's a collaborative. So I've totally taken over here, Pascal, but Todoist is brilliant.
And Roger will be pleased to that it's met your approval. And it's back to this idea of, the point of planning is good, but you've got to communicate it well, and then people got to execute. And Todoist for that kind of detailed step-by-step and execution, but reminders is lovely. What I like about Todoist, I'm sure you'll agree, it's also, you're almost like a personal virtual assistant, and it's got that appeal compared to others out there. So, excuse me, we're going to move on to the final one, which is how about if you could communicate using voice? But here's the thing, Johnny, you've already written the documentation, maybe you've sent an email and so on, but I'm busy. So we have an option called ELO Audio, ELO, and then the term audio as in sound. And this will read out to you documentation from work, emails, step-by-step guides and so on, whilst you can get on with other things. Or quite simply, this is about inclusivity and accessibility. And you will have some individuals who prefer to listen to information than to read that information. And ELO Audio is there for you. So it's all about the planning, but it's also about communicating the plan in the best possible way.
And giving you a bit more time back as well, and so saving time. So we've covered the first section. We've got 5 sections in the forward planning. And what I should have said at the beginning, by the way, is that in the show notes, all of these apps, all of these pieces of tech will be included. Pascal will have spent time already listing that together for us, which is very kind. And also, if you're wanting to explore what Pascal can do for you, the best way, you've got a great name, because all you have to do to find Pascal is just Google his name, Pascal Fintoni, and he will be there on page 1 with lots of different, whether it be one of his social channels or his website, you will easily find him.
Thank you very much. And I'm so lucky that I'm not a criminal, because I'd be so easily found with a name like mine. I couldn't hide. So, that's great.
So into segment 2, we're looking at the inspiration for our next content planning.
Yes, so my recommendation, as you'll know, Johnny, because you and I've said the virtual and physical stage many a time, is to plan your next content campaign for the next 3 months. So ideally, we want to have our May, June, July efforts already kind of mapped out using some time what we discussed a moment ago. But we need some help with that. I totally agree. So I'm going to go old school because I've done some SEO workshop recently, which has been a lovely return to how I began as a trainer. So I'm going to begin with Uber Suggest, which I know you'll be a big fan of, provided by Neil Patel and his team. And Uber Suggest is there to not to spy on the competition, which is what people usually use it for, but to give you that nudge in the right direction in terms of what kind of content you should be planning. And that could be for your blog, that could be for your podcast, for your video, for your next course, for your next meeting, pitch, whatever it might be. Uber Suggest is looking at what is performing well already in the interweb and give you some suggestions. I mean, that platform has grown over the years to something quite exceptional, and you can even choose different languages and so on. So big fan, but like I say, it was fun for me to go back to that. So for those of you watching the video version, I was looking at film marketing, which is a new program I'm launching very, very soon. And I was given options to consider in and around a bit of content effort out there. So the next one I wanted to mention to you is, again, old school. It's the Moz.com free SEO tools. And I'm going to argue that I'm cheating a bit here, Johnny, because I'm going to use two tools from Moz.com, the Keyword Explorer and the Link Explorer. I'm guessing that you know them well?
I do, but they're great.
They are great. And again, I'm not a big fan of the way sometimes they're being marketed to spy on the competition. I mean, for goodness sake, Johnny, how do you know if the competition is doing anything right, frankly?
Yeah.
So I use it more for my own inspiration. So the Keyword Explorer will be used very much like we saw a moment ago with Uber Suggest, but they have just a different way to display the information, which can be very, very helpful for you. So if I looked at film marketing as a theme in the UK, option could be film marketing jobs. So that could be an interesting blog article to write about how to find those jobs. Agency, but film marketing strategies is definitely one that I'd be in getting into. And then I have suggestions more and more. And when it comes to the links, actually, to be honest with you, Johnny, I use that for my content curation. So when I think about the next 3 months, I want to be even better at content curation. I want to surprise people with the sources of information. And I would use that element of the Moz.com free tools as opposed to just, this kind of strange backlink spying thing that sometimes can go on. If I continue with inspiration, this is a new one, but I'm so excited. It's called tweakyourbiz.com/title-generator. So this is, as the name would indicate, a way to get inspired about the title of your next article, your next video, your next podcast, and so on and so forth. It could even be a webinar. And it could even be inspiration, Johnny, for the kind of questions you should be asking your guest. Where Tweak Your Biz does it better than most is the way they organize the suggestions. So it could be a list type organization. Organizations could be 7 ways to master film marketing without breaking a sweat. And there's a few more there. There could be starting with best. The best film marketing tips you will read this year. There's also things like how to, this question starting with the 5 W's. There's also things like celebrity, film marketing, and the Mel Gibson effect. These are there for inspiration, and you don't have to use all of them, far from it, but it just might give you that spark to go, actually, I could do this. I mean, give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the truth about film marketing. That's one I could use certainly for my business. So that's what we do here. We get inspiration, and then we plan them out between May, June, and July. And that way, you could start to relax into the content creation element as opposed to trying to come up with ideas on the Monday morning.
Yeah, I love that. That's really helpful. Brilliant.
So you've done this lovely content, Johnny, but you must repurpose. You must try and get more value from this amazing kind of creation. So a number of options for you to consider. I came across this amazing website called TinyWow, W-O-W. Have you heard of it before?
No, I haven't. But what we should say there, because I think we've glossed over it quickly, and for those listening and watching, repurposing is so important, because what you do is you spend so much time creating this piece of content, whatever it might be. But then what we forget to do is then use it as much as we can and really just sort of get the most out of it as possible. And that's what repurposing is. So it's taking it and turning it into video, turning it into images, bite-sizing it down, turning it into small snippets of content and using it in lots and lots of different places. So this section is so important if you are doing any type of content marketing. The repurposing is so important. The answer to your question, Pascal, long answer. No, I've not heard. No, I've not heard of TinyWell.
Well, despite the fact that it has a tiny name, TinyWell, it's going to be so impressive. So you're right. We start with the original creation. Maybe it's a Word document, maybe it's a PDF, maybe it's a video, maybe it's an image, maybe it's an audio file. And TinyWell is like the ultimate portal to go from one format to the other. And literally, they have created like the go-to destinations. You can go from Word to PDF, from PDF to image, from video to audio, from audio to transcript, from PDF to Excel. It just goes on and on and on. I didn't know you could do all that. I mean, I'm pretty good at repurposing, but this TinyWell is just amazing. And you've got two ways you can use it. You can use the drop-down menu from the source. So if it's an image, click on image, and it'll give you the many, many options. Or you can do the kind of dashboard view where literally you go on and go, I had no idea that I could do all of that. And to your point, it's about this idea of how can I make this bit of content bring me more value to the business as opposed to creating a new one I don't have yet, or the ROI from this article, this video, or this podcast.
It looks
the
impressive.
Next option I want to, no, thank you. The next option I wanted to show you is gifs.com, GIFS. Or do you say GIFs or GIFs?
GIF.
Of course you say GIFs. So this one turned any video into a GIF. Now you could say, hang on, Pascal, you had TinyWell a moment ago. Why bother with this one? And plus, I don't like GIFs. Nor do I. I'd say I'm not a big fan. I just think that they have their place. What gifs.com does, in fact, it creates small extracts from your video. So if you have a video already on YouTube, what you can do is copy and paste the URL, and actually using a bit of a slider, dragging things left and right, you can position it so that you can cut out 10, 15 seconds of that video and share that on social media with a link back to your main video. So I did a test and I chose the trailer for the new season 2 of Picard, being a Star Trek fan. Of course I had to. And what is lovely about gifs.com is you can choose to leave the sound on or off. So actually, even though it's called gifs.com, what it does is create video extracts. So if you wanted to do an extract of this conversation, for example, Johnny, you would find the bit where we talk maybe about content repurposing, and you would extract that, but keep the sound on, download and share that on. They have a free and chargeable version where you'll find that it's a very, very fair way of going about it.
Very nice. I like it.
Final one, and this is a new organization called Podin.io, spelled Poddin.io. And this is about value again. So podcasting is becoming increasingly popular. I mean, you started a few years ago, so did I. But, nonetheless, we can always look to improve the impact of people coming on our website in particular with regard to podcasting. Now this is a transcription solution, and you could say to me, well, this is not new at all, Pascal. Transcribing audio has been around for quite some time. There are plenty of solutions, but this one does something very, very particular, which is that not only does it transcribe your audio and split between the different speakers, but it will add the photo of the person speaking next to their paragraph, almost like a little LinkedIn thumbnail image. And that will transform completely the experience of your audience. So there's repurposing down, which is about extract, and there's repurposing up, which is about adding value to the experience.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I thought you might.
Yeah, really clever.
So what I wanted to kind of finish off for this one is an kind of almost an enterprise solution. So, when we do this media review with my customers, we look at all the content that's been created over the past 6 months, sometimes even the whole of 2021. And there's so much value that is just gathering digital dust in people's hard drive or sometimes servers. And you should really become stricter with yourself about repurposing into maybe corporate presentations. And what this platform called PictoChart will do is literally bring together all this kind of multimedia content, from PDFs to videos to graphics to hand-drawn pictures on the napkin you've taken a picture of. So all the kind of multimedia can be repurposed into a corporate video, which could be used internally, for onboarding of new staff, as well as people who've been around for a while. But I think importantly, you must appreciate that your customers are very, very busy. They will have missed a number of things. Plus, you've got the infamous algorithm getting in the way, and so on and so forth. So why don't you look at something like PictoChart to do a monthly roundup of the best content you've produced and share that to them as almost an exclusive?
Brilliant. So we've covered planning, we've covered the communication of planning, we've covered inspiration for your next content campaign, then how to repurpose all of this content. And now what you've got two segments. You've got Interesting AI, which has definitely piqued my interest. And we always have the random selection.
We do.
So that will be coming up. If there's any apps or tech that you want us to review or that you think should be included in this list, please do let us know. And if you're watching, please do put something in the comments just to. Well, we like to know who's out there, don't we, Pascal?
We do indeed. We
like to know who's listening and watching. I'll let you get on to section 4, the Interesting AI.
Yeah, so let's be very clear. As far as AI is concerned, what I'm interested in is not for AI to write my blog articles. It is not for AI to literally book my guest and complete my calendar without me having any form of control. I'm looking at AI where on occasion it can really make a huge difference to either my productivity or the experience of my customers, but not to replace me or the same. So we're going to look at what is happening at this moment in time. So to begin with, there is a Google sponsors a lot of new and young creators, and they launched a platform called Auto Draw. So auto from automatic and draw from drawing cartoons and images. And we have the hyperlink in the show notes, Johnny, but I wanted to show you how it works. So you just launch it. It's a very, very easy to launch website. And using your mouse, or if you have it, one of your pens or whatever, you can draw an image. And I drew something, the best of my abilities. And can you hazard a guess as to what that attempt is?
Is it an ice cream? No, I'm only joking. For the people that aren't watching, it's definitely not an ice cream. It probably looks a bit like a TV.
And you're right to say it looks a bit like a TV. I can't draw. It's been essentially one of my dreams to be able to draw. When I was making films and I was storyboarding by hand, people used to look forward to the morning session when I would issue the storyboard because they would just laugh at the appalling attempt at drawing a car or a street or a person. So you would draw something very badly, as I've done, and auto draw using AI will recognize what you're trying to say and will give you professionally drawn icons. So the icons that you get to replace your very bad attempt are drawn by real people, real artists, and you end up with something that you can use in your presentations, on your website, on your social media, and so on.
Wow. That's clever. We're now seeing, by the way, if you're not watching, a professionally drawn TV in a similar color and similar style to what Pascal had sort of hand-drawn. So brilliant, very clever.
And to your point, you can change the color, you can change dimensions and so on before you download. So very pleased about this one. Now, the next one is probably where I am not sure. So there's a company called Synthesia.io where they have spent, I would imagine, days, weeks and months recording real people, asking them to essentially read out thousands of words, which means that with AI now, a seemingly real person can say your scripts. What you would do is choose an avatar, although it is a real person. You would type your script into the box below, and by pressing submit, they will essentially act out, your script. So it's not literally a fake person, but it is still fake kind of delivery. Just to give you a flavor, and I hope that the sound will play via what we're using today, I did a test with one of those avatars. Let's have a listen and a watch.
Well, we don't have any sound.
Okay.
We're currently watching an AI to do some kind of performance that some kind of script that Pascal's given.
And so in terms of the performance and the sound, it's a real voice, it's a real person. You have the body moving naturally, you've got the facial expression moving naturally, but literally it was just responding to my script. And I'm just curious, just asking you on the spot, how do you feel about this? Because it's real, yet it's a little bit fake.
Yeah, and also I'm just being slightly distracted because I'm having a couple of people tell me that they're having problems watching, and all I'd say is if you can still hear us, just refresh your whatever platform you're watching on, just refresh that feed, go back to the same link, and I'm confident that it will pick up again for you. Yeah, what you've just shown me, I've seen this tool. It was highlighted only a couple of weeks ago for me, and I think it is. I also am sort of on the fence with it, but it is very clever. It takes purely a script, and it creates a real person acting on a video, talking it out loud for you, and it does look depending. It can look really real, and it's really clever.
It's very clever, and you know that they are starting to use this for advertising. And one of the actors I'm aware of was Bruce Willis for a Russian vodka of all things, where he gave permission for his image to be used. But it wasn't there. Didn't say a word. It was just him being paid to give permission for his image to be used. So strange times we're going through. But the next one, which is AI-driven solution, is called Lalal, L-A-L-A-L. Now, this one is really clever. So imagine for a moment, Johnny, that you put together maybe a promo video, maybe a year or two ago. So typically you'll have moving images, you have text, you have the sound of your voice, Johnny, and also music. The problem is you don't have the original files anymore. You just have the edited versions. You've got your voice and the music, and you want to get into that file because you want to edit. But the problem is you're going to have the music getting in the way. Well, this platform, Lalal, can separate voice and music so that you can then go back to the file with just your voice and get on with a new project. How clever is that?
Very. I think that's. I'm going to definitely be looking at that.
I thought a few of you might on this one. And then I'm going to finish off with one that I used actually at the start of the pandemic, and which I need to go back to because I might be moving somewhere a bit noisier, called Crisp.ai. So using AI, this is a platform that will remove all background noise. And I must confess, I did put it to the test early 2020 when I had a neighbor with a year-long DIY project hammering nails and drilling holes all the time. And this has been an absolute savior. So Crips.ai, if you're working remotely and you're in a noisy environment, or even if you're traveling and the conditions around you keep changing, that could be a lovely way to filter out all that unwanted noise.
So is this done on live, as in this isn't to fix a recording, this is actually whilst you're talking right now?
Absolutely. And I'm guessing that what they're doing is delaying your voice by a fraction of a second, which can't be noticed by the human ear, and just enough to remove that barking, that noise, that drill, that traffic, whatever.
That's very clever. That's very clever. I've seen Zoom try and suppress background noise. It doesn't do it very well. And so this tool could be a real eye-opener for that.
The one reason this tool is recommended by Roger and I is because it doesn't distort your voice. Because there's been many attempts to remove background noise, but usually your voice is also impacted upon. This one doesn't do it, which I think is exceptional. So yeah, I would definitely look at Crisp.ai.
Fantastic. So we've done 4 sections so far. It's all about the forward planning of content, but it's my favorite bit. It's segment number 5, and it's the random selection. So what do we have in the random selection this month, Pascal?
That's going to be very random, Johnny. So to begin with, hoteltonight.com have re-released their app. So this is literally almost like some form of game where you try, to get yourself a hotel tonight, and you put in the town, you put in, when you need it, which is tonight, and you are given 15 minutes to book that hotel at that price. Otherwise, it's gone. So Roger has started to travel a lot, actually, for his speaking duties, and he used it obviously some time ago. He's reading it again, and he said the app has improved immeasurably. And there was even a quote on the main website from the founder, which is this idea of, we seek to excite customers with great value, flexibility, and the spontaneous joy of a last-minute booking. I will tell you, I am so much of a planner. This is not my thing at all, to go somewhere without anywhere to stay. But why not? That could be interesting to some.
I love the idea, gamification of where you're going to stay tonight. I think that's brilliant.
I don't think I could survive the stress. So, talking of gamification, certainly enjoyment, another one that Roger recommends is to avoid, let's call them the tourist traps, but also just to say, a city very well, maybe, or opposite, you don't know it well. Then why don't you get some advice about the best places to go to drink, visit, and eat. A platform called likealocalguide.com is literally local residents but also travelers who give their recommendation. It reminds me a bit of the good old days of the Lonely Planet guides, if you remember those fondly, from 20 years ago nearly. So that's going to be a bit better than, I would say, your Google Maps reviews and so on, which takes me nicely onto the next random selection, which is the marketing kit from Google Business Profile. So you may have received the email as well, but they have released and reissued, Google that is, the marketing pack with free stickers, free posters, free template for social media posts and so on, by literally extracting the information from your Google Business Profile that used to be called something else only a month ago. And do you know what? I think it's worthy of our considerations, all of us, to try and find some ways to create some printed but also online posters and social media posts using the testimonials of your customers, all the very information to do with your business. So the marketing kit, free of charge from Google Business Profile. I'm going to finish on something very random. Do you like music, Johnny?
I certainly do.
Would you like to have your own music show?
Oh my gosh. I think I would.
Okay, so this is a platform called AMP. You can find them on amp.com, are giving you the chance to be your own DJ. Literally, all you need to do is love music, have a microphone, have a laptop, and they will take care of all the rest. And the reason why I'm bringing this one up, John, is because actually when it comes to being a content creator, you can't just, it cannot just be all work and no play. You will find, in fact, that if you do something creative that is not work related, it may actually help you be an even better content marketer. And why not have your own music show?
Yeah, that's so true. You do need to do something totally different, because for me as a creator, as a creative, that's when I get my best ideas, when I'm doing something completely, it could be anything, but certainly not work. And so I love that idea. And well, I might have to go and play with it now and start doing my own radio show.
So if you had your own radio show, what music would be played then?
Well, my taste in music is very wide and very random. So it would be really quite mixed. But maybe some of the good old stuff. There'd be some Bon Jovi in there. There'd be some, really random stuff. Really random stuff.
I very nearly, many years ago, launched there was a platform called radio365.com, and if you remember them, I don't think they exist anymore, and I very nearly had my own radio show playing just movie soundtracks.
Excellent. Brilliant. So we've covered the sort of 5 segues, 20 apps on forward planning, the repurposing, the planning, the interesting AI part as well, and we had some random ones. Really helpful. Thank you so much, Pascal. Just to remind people, tell us again about the podcast that you have, and if we want to listen to you more.
Yes, thank you very much. Two Geeks and a Marketing podcast with Roger Edwards and myself, Pascal Fintoni. You could also leave a voicemail message on speakpipe.com, which we reviewed last month, /2 Geeks and a Marketing podcast. And what we do is we research and literally filter all the best news items and the best tech and more to make you a better marketer and business owner.
Well, that is all we have time for today. And on that point, that is what we're here to try and do, to help you be a better business owner and better marketeer. So good luck. Be creative, step outside the box, try new things, and hopefully you will have found something today that's going to make you that bit more productive, bit more efficient, and really help you glue some of this together. If you've got other things that you think we should be reviewing, let us know. Pascal, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again next month with the next 20 best apps and tech for your business. See you all soon. Thanks. Take care, Pascal.
You've been listening to the Johnny Ross audio experience. Thanks so much for joining me. If you want to continue the conversation, head over to my website, fleek.marketing, or find me on LinkedIn. That's all for today. Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, tag me in your social media posts, and please leave me a review on iTunes. It will make a huge difference for me. I will see you soon.